let's just go ahead and get straight on into it. Here's the trailer for Path of Exile Affliction.
Bien, se viene. Todo el mundo callado.
Something moves in the mists.
Aquí dos alertas.
Something sinister. Thorn. Rot. Plague. And claw. The affliction spreads. It hungers for more. Tread lightly in the wildwood, which shifts and bites. Accept our help, the ancient power of the Asmiri. Beware the spirits that yearn for freedom, and the heart of evil that waits in the dark.
¡Ojo!
I'll be waiting.
¡Ole!
Venom, de repente.
Dios.
Ay, que no me gustan los cromos de esta peña, chaval. Login, no, 1000 veces login.
Taco, ¿llevas pistola o es que te alegras de verlo? Es todo esto.
Uf. Ultimátum, por fin,
You will
chaval.
arouse sacred wisps, which beckon you to enter overgrown passageways that lead to the Viridian Wildwood.
Oh no, es un aviso.
Ay, no.
A vile affliction has covered this forest with foreboding darkness. You'll need to uncover the forest mysteries to put a stop to the source of the affliction. As you approach the darkness, the wisps burn away its affliction. Make sure you tread carefully, because they only have a limited amount of power.
Que no es que esté oscuro,
But
que es
be
que
warned,
bichos.
the darkness is full of cursed
LOL,
monsters
esto
that
lo
emerge
han
to
copiado
kill.
del acto 2 del Baldur's Gate.
As you explore, you might see other types of wisps trapped inside the
También de
darkness.
síntesis.
The Wildwood is trying to guide you towards clues about its affliction. Follow the trails of wisps by collecting them, and you may uncover many different secrets. New characters to find, shrines, boss battles, and all kinds of new encounters are lurking in the forest just waiting for you to discover them. There are many rewards to earn for those brave enough to seek them.
No,
When
ya
the
no.
sacred wisps run out of energy, they will return you back to where you came from.
Mira, semillas como...
Any other types of wisps you have collected will return with you to Rayclast. These wisps, having been saved from the affliction, disperse into the environment and inhabit randomly chosen monsters in the area, increasing their power and also
Es
their rewards.
Sentinel.
The different types of wisps have different effects on
Sentinel.
monsters,
Sí.
and sometimes more
Es
than
una
one
copia.
type will inhabit a single monster, making the fight even harder and
Sentinel
even
2.
more rewarding.
Sentinel, literalmente.
If this happens to a boss, you could be in for a tough fight.
Es Sabi
But if you can
más
overcome it,
Sentinel
Legal,
más
not in
Delve.
vain. Primal wisps grant an item rarity
O sea,
bonus to
cuando
inhabited
acabas el
monsters.
encuentro
Wild wisps
de...
grant an item quantity bonus,
de
and vivid wisps
Affliction,
cause them to drop
infecta el
currency
mapa.
items.
Hostias.
El
If a
dorado.
monster gets all three types, they'll drop more items of a
mía.
higher rarity and a lot of currency.
Es Scourge.
While exploring the
un
wild,
divine.
you might find some of the last few Asmeri wanderers who have
filtro.
managed to survive in the
Ni más
forest since it
puta
was cursed. Each of them have different survival specializations, and they are willing to teach you if you agree to help them defeat the
el
source of
árbol
the
es por aquí
affliction,
abajo,
the king in
solo.
the mists. Choose which of the Asmeri that you will complete quests for to unlock one of 3 new Ascendancy classes, which you can have in addition to your regular Ascendancy class. Up to 8 points for
Dice que
these
la puedes
classes
tener a
are
la
unlocked
vez
as
que
you complete
tu-
more
que la
quests for the
regular.
Asmeri you are training under. The Warden of Eves can teach you to become
que ver
a
qué
Warden
hace
of the
Ese tiene
Magi,
huecos,
a powerful class that
¿Habéis
takes
visto?
advantage of
Sí.
wilderness knowledge.
No, se
The
queda
Warden
esto,
of
yo
the
creo que todo
Magi can
está
learn
fuera.
to use tinctures which coat their weapon, granting various powerful effects.
Tinture. Oh.
You can equip tinctures in your flask slots and toggle them on
Tiene
and
que
off at
afectar
will.
fuera porque infecta el mapa.
You can only have
Ese
one
arma es
enabled
nuevo,
at a
¿cierto?
time,
¿Qué
but the
coño?
effects are
Y la-
quite
y
conditional,
las botas
so
que
you may
lleva.
want to have more than one equipped and swap between them during combat. For example, equip the Ironwood Tincture to gain the benefit of always stunning enemies on full life.
Una
Tinctures
tintura de
can also get random
hipermastur.
mods.
Si lo pillas a
This
tope
one
de
in
vida.
particular adds stacks of wither to targets on full life and steals frenzy charges on hit, which makes it great as an
Pero,
initiator.
¿esto tiene usos o...?
No,
When you are
esto te lo
fighting
pones
rare
en el
monsters or
frasco y lo
finishing off
activas.
tough bosses,
Y
you
se
will
te
want to
queda
swap
ahí.
to the Oak Branch Tincture, which grants Culling
Es una
Strike,
pintura de...
increased damage
de
against
agua.
enemies on low life, and has a chance to
Cooling.
steal a mod from rare
Hostia,
enemies.
eso
you
es un
kill.
Headhunter.
Pero no... Hostia,
You can buy
pero
more
no tiene
tinctures from the
duración.
Warden of
O sea, lo
These using
activas
no,
Cooling
Cooling
Wisps
is
when you find them in the
Headhunter,
forest. So keep an eye
Sacrificas
out
una
for
boti
it.
por ponértelo.
As a Warden
Pónselo
of the
con
Magi
Hitler,
gains
eso.
more ascendancy points, they
Te
gain
puedes
access
quitar
to more
varias según la
skills that let
situación.
them further specialize in tinctures. For example, Nature's Concoction allows you to invest in having your tinctures
Si son
enhance your
stackeables,
flasks.
sí.
This ascendancy skill makes it important to think about which
Wow.
stacks your tinctures are placed in,
Esto es
and what flasks they are
La
adjacent
Pathfinder
to.
no se va a jugar esta
You'll
liga.
have better uptime on those
Wow,
flasks,
it's una
and they'll be
huevada.
stronger as a result. But there are plenty more skills to choose even if you don't want to engage with tinctures. For example, another new ability to unlock is Barkskin.
Barskin.
It's a reservation skill that causes bark to grow all over your body, increasing armor.
Te da
As you take
armadura.
damage, the bark falls off, increasing your evasion.
What?
Over time, the
Joder,
bark will
clases
grow back,
mixtas.
removing the evasion bonus but increasing your armor again. The Breaker of Oaths can teach you to
Ala,
become a
seguro
warlock
que
of
con
the
esto orientas
Mists,
inmortal.
an ascendancy class specializing in the darker arts of the Izmeri. One powerful ability
Si
you
algo no
can
lo pilléis,
choose
ahora
is
después lo
Blood Hunt,
destrozaremos todo y lo
which
veremos
grants an
punto
active
por
skill
punto,
called Ravenous. This skill lets you see what type a monster is
Espérate.
under its life bar,
No,
whether it is
no
a
creo,
demon,
no.
beast, undead, construct, or humanoid. Consuming a corpse with this skill gives a buff
Y
to
de qué
damage
sirve?
against that type of monster, and reduces damage taken by it. You can only have one type active at a time, so it's a good idea to choose wisely for the area that
Te
you
da
are
un
in.
bufo permanente que tú decides en base
Some
a lo que
bosses
te
like the
come.
Maven are eldritch in
Sí.
nature and don't conform to the regular corpses that you have access to. But don't worry. The Breaker of Oaths has a shop
claro.
where you can trade
What?
wild wisps for corpses
potencias
that you
contra
can
los
place on the
los
ground
bosses.
wherever you are.
Le puedes comprar cadáveres. What?
Buy an eldritch corpse and you will be able
Absorberlos
to
y
get the
pegarte
bonus
con
while
los
fighting
bosses.
eldritch entities like the Maven.
En plan, toma.
You may notice that most of the corpses he sells are not monsters you normally encounter.
Pone
Gracias a
40
eso puedes
putos
hacer que
cadáveres
la
enfrente de una
Maven
Maven y
haga
la
menos
one
daño,
shot,
o
You
tío.
might want to try turning some of these corpses into
Hacerle tú más
specters
daño y
to take
y que te haga
advantage of
menos
some of the
daño.
unique
Pero
abilities.
¡Hostia! ¡Los
Ya,
puedes
chicos.
invocar como espectros!
¡Hostia, la hidra!
Hostia, qué guapo.
¡Hostia, la hidra!
The
Vuelve
Warlock of the
Redemption
Mists
Century.
gets access to many other abilities.
O sea,
For
espera,
example,
para.
there is a
Puedes
trio of
invocar
curses that you can pick
Al
from.
Exarca como espectro.
Asirus.
One of these curses targets your minions, giving them life degen and making them explode for massive damage when they are near death.
Hostia.
One of them
No me digas
prevents
eso.
enemies from dealing damage for the latter portion of its duration, which is quite powerful against bosses. This curse creates the interesting build decision of whether or not you should increase curse duration or reduce it.
Que al final de la duración
The
del
final
debufo,
curse is a
el
mark that
enemigo que
causes
tiene el
enemy
debufo
phantasms to be spawned when you
no
hit
hace
the
daño.
marked enemy. These
nueva
phantasms aren't
marca.
on your side, so they work well with on-hit and on-kill trigger effects, for example. The Primal
El frasco
Huntress
de
can teach you to
los-
become a Wildwood Primalist.
frasco de los... ¿Cómo se llama?
Unlike the
De los
other new
gusanos hecho
ascendancies,
marca.
the Primal Huntress lets you customize your tree.
Charm.
Charm Socket.
Charm.
Ese es para tú elegir los
You
nodos.
do this with charms that you can buy from the Primal Huntress for Vivid Wisps.
Se lo puedes comprar.
Charms have randomly
Now
generated
take
mods which give
reflected
stats
damage
from regular
ponía.
ascendancy
Venga,
classes,
va.
Orla
allowing you to
Futil,
create your own
cargas.
hybrid ascendancy class.
Los
Charms are magic
carga.
items that are aligned with different attributes. So, for example, this Ursine charm is
Hostias.
strength aligned and has gotten the
Hostias, el de abajo
melee hits have a
no
chance to
es normal.
fortify stat from the champion, and the ability to stop your movement speed going below base from the Juggernaut. This interline Corvine charm lets you get the
Estoy
stat
muy
that makes
dudoso.
your consecrated ground effects linger
Oh,
from the Inquisitor,
este son robar las
and the effect that
ascendencias a
makes
los demás.
cursed enemies explode from the
Es como
occult.
cogerte una mini ascendencia.
Some of the combination of
Esto
mods
era
that you
una
might find for
pasta.
sale on charms can be
Guau,
extremely
este es tener
powerful.
las ascendencias.
No,
So
Este es
keep a
el mejor
lookout
de
for
los
the
tres.
Primal
No va a
Huntress's
valer
shop,
nada
even
porque
if
lo
you are not
compras ahí.
playing as a Primalist.
Tiene que salirte.
As a Primalist, you
Dame,
also get
¿qué
access to a
porcentaje
few
tiene
other
ahora?
interesting abilities.
Si se pueden vender.
Use war cries next to corpses
Sí,
and
sale
they have a
una
chance
muy
to
rara.
drop an extra item.
Hostia.
It opens nearby chests too.
¡Qué guapo!
Mira, abre cofres.
The
Se
Primalist
abre,
also
¡buah!
gets access
La
to a small
tecnología ha
extra
llegado.
backpack, just in case you find yourself needing to cart more items to town during your map
Holy
runs.
poop.
¡Eh!
¡Hombre, presenta al hijo!
If you are unhappy with the
Literalmente
class
está
you
la mejor,
picked, or you just happen to find a really great item for another one of the classes, you are able to change which class you are using next time you find one of the Azmiri Wanderers. Just remember that you will have to do their
puedes
quests in order
cambiarte
to gain the
libremente.
ascendancy points for that class. These quests will lead you towards the
vale.
ultimate goal of the
Y
Azmiri,
cambiarlo reinicia
finding
los
the king in the
puntos.
mists, defeating him, and cleansing the forest of its affliction once and for all. There are new uniques to find, rewards to
Hay un
claim,
boss.
and new ascendancy classes
Porque ha
to
dicho que
master in
encontrar al
the
rey de la
Affliction.
niebla.
Antes al
Now
principio
that
hay
we've covered
una
what's in the
arena.
league, let's talk about some
se
of the
viene.
changes you can expect to the core game in 3.23. For a start, Ultimatum is finally going core. When talking to players at ExileCon, it was the #1 feature that people requested. When playing through endgame maps, you may sometimes encounter the Trial Master, who offers you a choice to undertake a deadly Val trial in exchange for great rewards. If you defeat the trial, he offers to go double or nothing with you. Do you take the risk and go for an even better reward?
Me
Or
gusta
do you take the money you've
ultimátum.
already earned off the
Es
table?
exactamente- Era lo que estaba
We've
pidiendo
done a
yo.
full
tío.
rebalance of Ultimatum and have added many
Bueno,
new
tío, todo
mods
el
and
mundo.
rewards.
Pero parece que ahora
including both
siempre va a
new
ser
and
mínimo de
reworked
10
units.
oleadas, porque ponía ahí
The
un
base
12
number
10.
of rounds for an Ultimatum trial is now always 10, with a chance to spawn the Trial Master
Porque
boss
tiene
fight on the
70
10th round,
fijos.
if you are able to make it that far. As part of 3.23, we have also removed Metamorph from the game. All the Catalyst rewards from Metamorph have now been moved to be
Han
rewards for
quitado
Ultimatum.
Metamorph.
Han quitado
We have
Metamorph.
also added a new
Entonces en el
Valve-themed
árbol,
catalyst that works
ahora
on
lo que era
corrupted
Metamorph
items.
será...
As is normal for most
Ultimatum.
content that gets added to endgame,
Supongo.
we have introduced new Ultimatum
Sí,
passive
Mira, mira,
to the
mira.
Atlas.
Sí, sí. ¿Cuántos nodos, chaval?
Me gusta.
One great example
Ya sé
is
que voy
the
a
Keystone
especificar.
Grueling Gauntlet.
Oh,
It makes ultimatums last 3 extra rounds.
Tres
You
rondas.
can
Tres
choose the
adicionales.
modifiers,
Pero no
and
puede
it prevents
tener
the
al
final Trial
Real Master
Master
al
boss
final.
fight from spawning. The level of challenge becomes extreme during the last 3
Esto me hace
rounds,
preguntar si jugar
and not
arquero
being
o
able
no,
to choose the modifiers makes it even harder.
Aquí no te puedes meter con la
The
arquera.
rewards are insane.
Por
and For
eso,
those with very high-end characters,
a lo mejor se
Bueno,
van a
si
llevar
vas
por esto.
elevado.
Porque ha
there are
dicho
lots
que
of
los
other
últimos
Atlas passive
encuentros
skills
son
you
de
can
un
pick
nivel
from for
superior.
Ultimatum,
A
so
lo mejor
choose
se puede
wisely.
levear con estas.
Now, it's time to talk about one of the largest
Siempre.
metagame changes we've ever made. There were 3 systems in Path of
Los
Exile that
Catalysts
were
ahora
all
van a
trying
estar
to
aquí en
subtly
Ultimatum.
modify the behavior of skills.
Catalyst estaría
These were
teniendo
alternate
igual
quality
sugerencias.
gems, Labyrinth Helmet Enchants, and unique
segundo.
threshold jewels. We've combined all of these
Eso no
together
es
to create a new
el-
system
el
called
laberinto.
La
Transfigured
fuente de los
Gems that allows
encantamientos.
us to fully achieve the goal of these 3 systems and then some. Transfigured gems are alternative versions of existing skill gems that have different functionality and balance from their regular versions. We have added a huge number of these with interesting variations that drastically change how existing skills play.
Vale, pero ¿cómo
For
se
example,
consiguen?
Frostbomb of
de hecho.
Instability. It changes it from a cooldown skill that you can cast occasionally
No,
for a
han
large
añadido
explosion
nuevas
into a
gemas,
skill that you can
variantes
cast
de...
Enchants a
continuously
la
that
habilidad
deals
de
less
la
damage
habilidad.
and doesn't apply cold exposure.
Enchants.
It changes the role of Frostbomb from a utility
son
skill
nuevas
into a main
gemas.
damaging
No,
skill.
metes la gema a esa fuente y te la cambia.
Another example
Ah.
is Detonate Dead of Scavenging. You can't use it on corpses that were created by Desecrate or Unearth, but in exchange it does a whole lot more damage. You won't be able to use it as your main reliable source of damage, but it's a great skill to use as a 4-link utility to get some extreme burst damage. Raise Zombie of Falling. Instead of raising a
no
zombie from
requiere
a
cuerpos.
corpse, you summon them from mid-air. They fall to
Está
their
guay.
death, dealing AoE damage
Para
with melee.
las estas que las detona,
While
la
this
habilidad
sounds
que
like a
las
physical
detona.
damage version of Fire
pero
Spittle,
es
you can
que
consider that it
cielo.
scales with minion damage and also
Claro,
triggers
un
one
daño,
death
claro,
minion
que-
effects.
¿Traes zombie of falling?
Blight of Contagion. This version of Blight is now spread by Contagion, so you can use it as part of your Essence Drain build. We have a huge number
Buah,
of these.
pasa el
Transfigure
contagio por
Firestorm
la
into
cara.
Firestorm with Meteors, Transfigure Blade Trap into Blade Trap of Great Swords, Transfigure Barrage into Barrage of Volley Fire,
Las dos
and
gemas
so on.
juntos.
There is a lot to experiment with, and we
Quiero
look
ver que
forward
le
to seeing
hace
what builds you can
Spark.
come up with.
Ojalá exista una de Spark.
But how do you get Transfigured Gems? The Divine Font
¿Te
at the end of the
imaginas?
Eternal
Spark puede
Labyrinth
hacer
has been
fork.
changed to a gem
La
crafting
fuente,
device that
mira.
can modify your skill and support gems in a lot of new
Sacrifica
ways.
una gema por...
One of the options you can now
Por la
choose
que
is to
me
turn a
imagino.
skill gem
Mismo
into one of
color.
3 Transfigured Gems. But that isn't
Te
all the
ofrece
Divine
tres.
Font can do. It has a lot of other gem crafting options you can use. For example, you can add quality to gems, add
Añadir 100
experience to
millones de
gems,
experiencia a una gema.
sacrifice a gem for one or more treasure keys to
Ah, pero
open
te ofrece varias
Azara's
cosas de
chests,
golpe, ¿o qué?
and you can even exchange support
sí.
gems for exceptional
Ah, pero-
support gems like Empower or Enlighten. These are
Lo
just
de la
some of the
izquierda
options you'll
puede
find
ser
the
el
Divine
número de
Font is now
usos.
capable
No.
of.
Existe.
In order to replace the rewards in Heist that previously gave alternate quality gems, we have done a rebalance of the rewards of Heist as well.
¿Replica Covenant?
Experimented base types have been rebalanced. New replica uniques have been added
Replica
and
ver-
old ones changed, and we have increased the amount of currency
Fortification
from display
Perendurance.
cases as well. On top of this, we have gone through and buffed the quality stats on most damage dealing skills. In most cases, they will be significantly more powerful and also more interesting.
¿Qué?
Overall, this is one of the largest
¿Qué
meta
es eso? Quality normal ahora.
There are so many crazy new skill
Ahí pone
combinations to
tornados
plan
en
around,
base.
so we
Sí, ha
expect to see
dicho,
some
hemos
really
hecho-
interesting new builds.
Rebalanceo de la calidad de muchos temas.
Next up, I'd like to hand
Pero
back over to
tornados
Chris to
entonces
talk
como
about
no
the
la
new
nerfen
support
luego en las
packs.
patch notes.
At this point, we'd usually talk about the League supporter packs. We're doing things a bit
Bueno,
differently.
a ver en qué me voy a
La nota
dejar
de
primero.
Rather than
Interesante.
releasing League supporter
son los
packs
core,
today
estos son
and
los de
our annual
400.
core packs 2
Ah.
weeks later,
No,
we've combined
por
it all
favor.
together into a strong set of core supporter packs that will be released alongside Path of Exile Affliction next week. The series contains 5 packs, each with its full value of points and a collection of exclusive cosmetic microtransactions. The higher packs contain physical items. We'll unveil the full details of each of the packs at release next week. But in the
¡Oh, te
meantime,
puedes
here's a
pegar!
sneak peek of some of their exclusive cosmetic microtransactions.
Dios.
These packs will be available for purchase when Path of Exile Affliction launches on the 8th of December. Thank you so much for your ongoing support.
¡Hostias!
Y a la mano, qué
We're just
guapa.
about to start the Q&A with Ziggy D. Afterwards, we'll post Path of Exile Affliction's full patch notes. With the release at the end of next week, our community team will be posting crucial information
Va a ser
you'll
una
need
semana
for
muy larga.
Affliction's release. Keep an eye on the news. On release weekend, we expect to launch the new mystery box and this
¿Y
season's
qué pasa con los
character box.
encantamientos?
Thanks for joining us
Fatality.
today and checking out our latest developments. We're looking forward to exploring the Viridian Wildwood
¿Qué
with
tiene
you
que pasar
next
con los
week.
encantamientos?
We'll begin the Q&A shortly, so please get your questions ready.
¿Pero qué pasa con los
Ya
encantamientos?
está, ¿no? Se acabó la presentación.
Sí, ahora viene el Q&A con los tres.